Hello and welcome to Required Reading, the podcast that revisits the most impactful books from our childhood. I'm your host, Aaron Bowles. I'm a writer, actor, and comedian. And joining us for his third appearance on the podcast is Kevin T. Porter. Yeah!
Hey! Oh my gosh. Number three. This does remind me of a time long ago in which I would do multiple appearances on one podcast. I'm realizing I haven't done that in a long time. Just now. I'm trying to think of the last one where it's like, yeah, this is my second or third time on this one. Because usually, I don't know, there's just a certain class of podcasts that ends up going away over time.
That's,
not you.
Yeah. It's hard to fathom.
How many more years do you want to do?
We'll see.
10?
10. Dude, you're on, what, year 9 of Good Christian Fun?
10. In a year, it'll be 10 years of GCF.
And that's incredible. And that's going strong.
Incredible is one word for it, yeah. It's going strong, yes. Yes.
It's going strong. Well, today we're not doing a book. Today we're doing a slightly scary movie.
When did you transition to film?
Maybe a year or two ago. Okay. It's like still scattered. We're not doing a ton of them, but I am going to do more and more because I am a little burnt out on reading, which is not a thing I really expected of myself. But also they're like just faster to make, to, watch a 90-minute movie rather than...
Well, because even a children's book, like a medium children, what's the time commitment on that usually?
I mean, I try to read every book in 5 days, and so sometimes that's very, very easy. And then sometimes it's The Count of Monte Cristo in 5 days.
Yeah.
And that's the struggle. And a lot of people will be like, oh, I read this in one sitting for, like, the Hardy Boys or something. And I'm like, congratulations, I don't have the attention span to do that. So I have to read, like, a little bit here, a little bit there, a little here, a little there.
I've really been experimenting with when and how is the best reading. And this is one of my, kind of, if you haven't caught up with someone in a while or just like a random question to ask people with apropos of nothing, as they say. As I say, when do you read? When is it? Is it before bed? Two buddies of mine, both of their answers were like right before bed or right at bed, right before I go to sleep. And a big thing for me, what I used to do, I used to be so much better about this, Aaron. It was like 8 or 9 years ago. I used to read while walking all the time. I would want to get my steps in, but I would want to get my page count in. So I would read while walking. And with the little Kindle, it's not something to do. And sometimes you say that to people, they're like, read while walking? That's so aren't you going to run into traffic or something? I'm like, you look at your phone while walking.
Yeah.
It is the same in terms of your ability to concentrate on your surrounding environment.
Man, similarly, but I just have a walking pad, like a treadmill, and so I just pop up on there, post up, and crank away.
Not an outdoor walker.
It is too hot. It's too hot.
Well, I will say, and some of this is colored by my privilege, I need to admit. And even the notion, I went on a little run, Aaron, before hopping on morning. And I've been running more this week than I have in any part of the year so far.
In the brutal heat of Los Angeles.
In the brutal heat of Los Angeles, specifically Pasadena, San Gabriel Valley, where it has been like 96, 95.
Worse.
Degrees. And it's because my landlord put in a mini split AC unit. It's cold as hell. It's cold as hell in my apartment. And it feels amazing to come home. Because I know what it used to be is like, if I run, then I'm going to be hot, and it's going to be hot the rest of the day, and my little window unit's not going to be able to keep up, and blah, blah, blah. And then I'm not going to be able to use the kitchen. I can't make lunch, and da-da-da. And now I'm like, I'm going home, baby, where I'm going to use... I went to Target to buy a quilt the other day. Like,
no, Kevin. I have blankets. I have too much yarn. Please.
Oh, you're saying you want to give me yours?
Yes, please.
I'll take them.
Okay.
The more blankies, the better.
I have one that matches your shirt. Bring.
Oh my God.
Kevin. Blanket.
I'd love a little blanket exchange. That'd be so fun.
Exactly.
How about that?
Have we said what the movie is?
The movie is Return to Oz.
From 1985.
1985.
What I have two Wizard of Oz pieces of clothing, and one is a fat sweater, and then this one is a T-shirt with Jack Pumpkinhead and the Tin Man and Little Tip.
That is a proper Return to Oz patch.
This is from the second Wizard of Oz book, because you've got Tip, and Tip is Ozma, early trans character, if you know the lore. Do you know about this?
I don't know about this.
Okay. Well, the second Wizard of Oz book, so Return to Oz is based mostly on the third book, which is Ozma of Oz, with little elements pulled from the second one, because Dorothy is not in the second one. And the second one is all about this little boy named Tip, who lives with Mom Bee, the evil witch.
Oh, yeah.
And this is my favorite. So at the end, it is revealed that Tip is actually the Princess Ozma, who has been in hiding all of this time, and she ascends to the throne. And so she also transforms from boy to girl. And the lore there is that when the Wizard of Oz came to Oz, he's like, there's an heir apparent in this baby girl. We cannot have it becomes House of the Dragon. They're like, we cannot have this baby be a threat to my power. So he gives this baby to a witch, to Mombi, and says, hide her forever. And she hides him as a little boy. And so eventually becomes Ozma. And the third book is Dorothy comes back and hangs out with Ozma, and it's called Ozma of Oz, and you get the Gnome King and all of this. But Ozma has been held up by trans communities since like 1905 or something.
Really?
Yeah.
This, I feel like I would have heard about this before.
Give it a goog. I can't even remember her name, which is so terrible. There's the trans Jeopardy champion, and she has a gigantic bicep tat of Ozma, because those illustrations. At the end of the movie, when you see Ozma in her big green dress, she looks just like the illustrations, that gorgeous headpiece.
How about that?
So, your dog is so funny to me.
Wait, no, he's a very serious guy.
I know he is, but he's funny to me. And he looks a lot like Little Toto in this movie, except for the ears.
Little Toto in this movie, I was really vibing with.
Yeah.
With that guy.
Well, because Toto in the original movie from 1939 is like my touchstone text of everything. But that Toto is ugly. That Toto is disgusting.
And he's passed away. So
yes, I've been to his grave.
And have you actually?
In Hollywood Forever. Yeah. Yeah, I have.
And you know, most of his relatives have passed away at this point as well. So we can say that Toto was busted looking. He was not a gorgeous boy.
No.
Not like my boy.
Not like your boy.
And not like the boy in this film, I will say.
Yes, who I think was not a trained actor dog. Was just a...
Didn't have Meisner technique?
No.
Or Beitner or whatever.
That's a little too far. That's a bit much.
Stanislavski?
No.
Okay.
This is directed by... Well, actually, I have a lot of questions. So, did you grow up watching this movie?
At some point, it was put on. It might have been my friend Sam, who was really into movies. He was like 6 years older than I was, and we were very close, and he was kind of my like entry point into this is what it means to enjoy film. And we would go see everything together. We would see AI and Moulin Rouge and Chicago. It was like that 2001 to 2003 period. And we did rent it, and he said, like, just so you know, this one is kind of scary. I was like, yeah, whatever. And I was like, you know, I just, this is everyone's take. This is everyone's memory of it. Is like, this is a terrifying.
Yeah.
And then rewatching it yesterday, I was like, well, you know, let's see. It's been 20 plus years, and I was like, this is a terrifying movie.
This is kind of scary.
This might be terrifying more now than it was when I watched it.
I was so struck because it follows the structure of like she's in Kansas, then she's in Oz, then she's back in Kansas, and it picks up where the 39 movie leaves off. And it is such a sad movie for the first half hour where Dorothy is like telling the people she loves that this thing happened to her and they love her, but they're taking her to ECT and the doctor just wants the best for her. And it is like so deeply
It's
sad.
horrific. It reminds you of like assault victims who aren't believed.
Yeah.
Or like astronauts that come back to Earth and then they have a trouble adjusting to like, wait, but I was in space.
Exactly.
What do I do now?
And she's so lonely and has no one, and like Piper Laurie plays Aunt Em and is phenomenal in her small role. Piper Laurie like loves this kid, wants the best, and there's so much about like it's about mortgages and like Uncle Henry broke his leg. That leg's mended, Dorothy. That leg's mended. It's like, what's going on with Uncle Henry? Oh no!
Yeah, just like denying a young girl's reality.
Yes.
Over and over again. To the point of, getting next to normal on her ass and being like, yeah, it's time for electroshock.
Time to put these things on. And it's... I have noticed in myself a tendency to like pick things apart rather than engaging with them sincerely, and I need to curb that. But I am like, why are we doing ECT at midnight in the dark in a thunderstorm?
Because it's scary.
Exactly.
It's so scary as a little kid. I just can't imagine what the thought was when they're like, we're making Return to Oz. The opening of the movie, the first 15 minutes, is we're gonna have a little girl do electroshock therapy at midnight.
I did not see this in theaters, but I'm thinking about how many parents took their kids to this and then we're watching it and we're like, oh no, I've done something terrible. Here comes my cat. But so sad. I think I don't think when they approached this, they're like, we want to make gritty Oz in the sort of 21st century way. But they did want to say, like, we're going to go back to the books. We're going to make a thing that is different from the 39 version. Pretty much everything was public domain, except the ruby slippers. They asked for permission for that.
Right.
Because they're silver in the book. And I'm so glad they did, because that shot, I mean, the effects in this movie are astounding.
The effects go crazy in this movie in a way that's impressive now, like 40 years
Yes.
That is like obviously my primary takeaway from
it.
It was so distant. Like I'm not above like a very dour or serious time at the movies. Obviously, sometimes that can be a very joyful thing or like a cathartic thing to experience. I think there's something about like, and I definitely don't like the marvelification of like, well, that happened. But there's something that's just almost similar to The Wiz as well, the Sidney Lumet.
Very.
Where it's like, this is melancholic to the point of despair almost. Like nothing is funny in this movie. There's actually no levity to speak. And there's no joy. There's no triumph in the movie either, other than just like we survived a horrific thing.
Exactly.
But it's not like it is certainly not like the 39 movie.
No.
In the sense of like, hey, we're having a nice time here. We're off to see the GD Wizard. I saw the 39 movie again for the first time in a while, a couple of months ago. After seeing, after just the wicked of it all, like, let me just remember what this is all about. And I actually was a little struck by how, I was very moved by Somewhere Over the Rainbow and certain parts of it, and just like the spectacle and beauty of it. They showed it at a local theater here on a 35mm print. By the way, at the screening by himself watching it, I'll dox him.
Yeah.
C. Riley, dressed to the nines, just wanted to see Wizard of Oz.
Wow.
That day. And I thought that was so nice. But I was actually a little colder on it.
No.
I know, isn't that interesting?
No.
It felt like a little. It made me want to read the book. Obviously, like I can't deny the magic of what it is and what it means and blah 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 and the performances. I think though, Aaron, the big thing for me is just like I listened to one podcast and read a little bit about like the making of it,
and that kind of Ditto for you.
And I'm not usually that guy where it's like, did you know that guy was actually mean to her one time, and now I don't watch this movie. But like the way in which Judy Garland was treated like a horse on that movie,
A little bit, yeah.
is just it makes it so, like, as an object, such a like a tragic object.
Yeah,
it's obviously like begotten so much joy and beauty for millions of people, but at the cost of something profound. And just like something that, like, you know, I'm not saying there's a direct line you can draw to that and then her like addiction issues and her death and stuff, but it's just like actually understanding that a little bit better as an adult. It's kind of hard to take.
Yeah.
So in a way, there is something that kind of interesting about Return to Oz being like on its face. It sounds like there was some difficulty in this production as well, but not on a like Fairuza Balk was used out of her mind and like popped up on uppers and downers 24/7. It just sounded like they had to shoot too long, and Walter Murch, the director, was fired, and things went over budget, blah blah blah. But nothing like
Yeah, they seemed like, from the little bit I read, they seemed like they were really on those child labor laws and very aware of them. But I will say with, like, at least the 39 movie, fantastic influencer called the Oz Vlog, who is just there debunking myth after myth after myth about the 39 movie, and she's fantastic. But, like, at least...
Wait, what's their name again?
The Oz Vlog, VL.
Oz Vlog.
Yeah, she's it's an influencer named Tori, and she's crazy. The way my mom is about Girl Scouts, this lady is about the Wizard of Oz.
Wow. I mean, it becomes religion for a lot of people, right?
And she's always debunking myths, and I think with Judy Garland, it's definitely like, this was a continuum. Like, this was a step on the path, not a starting point. And also the awful thing is, like, that's just what they were doing to everybody. Like... in the biz.
Like the treatment of her on that movie was aberrant too.
Yeah.
It is crazy though, of like the actors who played the witch and like the makeup that they used on them, and what was it? Is it the Tin Man or the Witch where it's like the makeup costume?
That was the Tin Man.
Okay.
And then there's something with, I think, Margaret Hamilton, the witch, who, like, got caught in a trap door or something in that Munchkin Land sequence. But I don't think I think the, like, hiccup, and there were a lot of different directors in the 39 version. The hiccup with this was Walter Murch was taken out for it. And then I think Coppola and George Lucas were like, he's good, bring him back. And I think George Lucas said, like, if you fire him again, I'll step in and I'll cover for it.
He did say that.
Yeah.
I know Walter Murch, it's his first and last film to his name, to his credit. To his director.
And Oscar winner, film editor, and sound designer.
I read his book, Blink of an Eye, in college.
You did?
Yeah, of course.
Excuse me, required reading?
It was required reading, Aaron. Oh my God.
That's so cool. I didn't know he had a book.
That's like a foundational text of like film language and history, I would say. Is
Oh,
because
dang.
it's all about like how film language is supposed to work, and obviously he's so knowledgeable.
Hell yeah, I didn't know that. But yeah, I mean, Coppola, Apocalypse Now, Conversation, it's just done so much stuff. But yeah, I think the main takeaway I've been trying to wonder, like, Oz is so huge to me, always has been, always will be. It's my thing. And I would love for you to come back and, like, read the books because they are very interesting. But
You've read all of them?
I've read 5 or 6.
Okay.
There's like 28 or something total. And L. Frank Baum wrote the first 14, 15, before some other people came in. But I like, why does this movie work for me? Because it is so polar opposite to the 39 version.
Yes, because this is a 5-star classic for you, if Letterboxd is to be believed.
That is true. It's a perfect film. I think, like,
Perfect.
I think it's yes, write that down. I think it's a fantastic film. I think it's got fantastic tech and, like, practical effects, great performances. Fairuza Balk is a rare talent of a child actor. And I think maybe partly seeing the grittiness of Oz in a way that is still sincere, that like still has a lot of love and reverence for what was, because we're coming into an Oz that is no longer Oz, that is in ruins. I think that somehow makes it more real in the 39 version. I don't know.
It makes it more real in the 39 version in what way?
In that the 39 version has crumbled. In that, like, that Oz is no longer, when Firuza Balk goes back, is no longer there. I think the fact that that can crumble somehow makes, like, the universe more vivid, almost.
What you're saying.
The visuals are very, very, at least in the character design, very accurate to the book depictions. Like, the Tin Man looks exactly like he does in the books, but they are kind of scary looking in this version.
What are the roller skating fellas called?
The Wheelers.
Wheelers, Aaron, are just some of the most scary, terrifying. I'm 36.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not feeling this at all. Right?
And to me, at least, those guys look ridiculous, right? Like, I will not deny they're terrifying, but it is like a guy on all fours, clearly like with weird wheels. Like, it should not work in the terrifying way that it does. It should not be scary because it is kind of laughable. And yet every single person who talks about this movie, I mean, even in You're the Worst, which is one of my favorite TV shows ever, there's even a moment in there where she's like, God, the Wheelers in that movie were so crazy. That's a great accomplishment, to be able to make those guys horrifying.
Oh, I mean, there's certainly a technical accomplishment
Throughout, yeah.
I think I'm just trying to understand, like, for you, do you think your enjoyment of the film bordering on like sublime, it's like a gorgeous artifact of, like, it's the Citizen Kane of children's fantasy movies. Is that informed by, I've read the books, so I understand how this is a more accurate reflection depiction? It's not. So what's it most informed by?
I think, well, because like I did not read, I might have read Ozma of Oz when I was young, but I didn't read any of the other books until getting into adulthood. But my father would sit down next to the bed and read me Wizard of Oz every single night until I was like 10 or something. That book is worn down. I think it's like, when I saw Wicked in theaters, I immediately started crying because, like, I didn't think I would get to really go back to Oz, like, as a deeply internal child kind of thing, which was why it was so cool. And so I think this stuck because it's like, this world still exists, and Dorothy, like me, was longing to be back in it and engage with it. And I think because it is different, it's like this, like I was saying, like, this place gets more real by the additions, even though they are different. So, like, I love TikTok, the Gnome King, obviously the bad guy, but like so incredible. That actor is incredible. They've got the dual casting, which I don't think I noticed until very recently.
They repeat the same convention from the 39, which is like, the person in real life becomes this person in the fantasy land. Yeah.
Which knowing that, I was disappointed that Piper Laurie didn't get a counterpart. I don't know who she would, what that character would be.
Did Auntie M have a counterpart in the original?
No.
So I guess they're repeating that.
Yeah, exactly.
In that way.
There's also an interesting Henson connection here. Not Jim Henson.
But Brian, right?
Brian Henson, his son, plays Jack Pumpkinhead, who looks identical to the books. And like you were saying, there's no levity. I feel like the only levity might be like Jack Pumpkinhead calling Dorothy mom, and that is also deeply sad.
It's sad,
it is
man.
sad.
That's the thing, is like, Because I'm sure at some point I would have thought, like, that's funny.
Yeah.
She's not his mom. Or, like, thought he about it.
Yeah.
Instead, I was like, oh my God.
Exactly. And when he asks, he's like, can I call you mom even though it's not true? Like, he knows. It's
Tough
so
stuff, Aaron.
sad.
Like, I was just sitting here on my couch, I had a little, I was doing some work yesterday, and I was like, all right, time to unwind. Time to listen to Oz. I'm sure
Time to unwind.
And then I'm watching this sad pumpkin guy say, are you my mommy? You're not. Well, can I pretend that you... It was hard to take.
Yeah.
It's hard to take. And I'm not saying that I would prefer to watch Sam Raimi's Oz the Great and Powerful. I would not rather watch that.
I've never even tried, and I won't.
I walked out of with some friends of mine.
Good.
Back in 2013, 2014, whenever that came out. 2013, I believe. Yes.
Yeah. Disgusting. But there are, like, I don't know, I love TikTok in this. I love his eyes, even though he is also, like, so sad. But I love all of the sequences, just, like, they're so vivid to me. Like, when Dorothy is in the Gnome King's mountain, he gives her, like, snacks to eat, and I can taste those snacks. I don't know how, but I can. I had to ask, what's your take on the talking chicken Belina? I mean, because in my notes it says, Kevin love Belina.
Kevin love Belina?
Kevin love Belina is what it says in my notes.
Is that a command? Or?
No, that's an assumption. That's an assumption.
I thought, as impressive and lovely as the practicals were, there was something that I was like, I did want the chicken to be a little less realistic than it was. Because it's just like, I am looking at a talking chicken right now.
Yeah.
So it just felt hallucinatory
Yeah.
the whole time. The other guys, it's like, I'm a big pumpkin guy, and I'm a queen with multiple heads I can take on and off. I'm like, I'm not getting uncanny valley from that. But with the chicken just being like, Dorothy, do this now. I was like, am I tripping, man?
Yeah.
Oh.
In the tiny bit of reading I did, like, apparently Firuza Balk was so small, like, her little arms couldn't carry a normal sized chicken.
Oh, yeah.
But I was thinking, like, on set, this is mostly just little Firuza Balk and a bunch of puppets. Like, the puppetry is incredible in this, undeniably.
And that must have made it so hard.
Yeah.
Puppets are so hard. And then children you can all use for like 30 minutes. Before,
Exactly.
They need to take a 2-hour break. So, like, that hence why it went on for like...
Yeah. Watching it now as an adult and someone who's, like, done a little bit of stuff on set, I'm like, God, this must have been brutal to make. Or at least just such... Yeah, like, I think people make fun of it, I think, because it's scary or it's different to their expectations, or there's a talking chicken and these wheelers and stuff, but, like, this was nominated for an Oscar for visual effects. This is an Oscar-nominated movie.
I wonder what it lost. I'm gonna look that up while you
look that up, please. Yes. I loved the... Oh, and one thing that surprised me is, like, that, because when people complain about the Wicked book, right, they complain, and I love that series, when they complain about the Wicked book, the critique is, this is so different from what I expected. And in the prologue to that, Gregory Maguire, the author, immediately sets the tone by having, like, a puppet incestuous threesome. So that to me is like, well, he tells you very early on what this is going to be. And when Dorothy meets this doctor in this movie for the first time, she tells the backstory of the Tin Man, which is book accurate but does not appear in the 39 version, which is that a spell is put on Nick Chopper, the normal human being, and he progressively cuts off all of his limbs until he is just metal. And I don't think I really caught that before, maybe because I just, like, knew that was the backstory. But then I was like, oh, so they are saying we're gonna lean into the hard truth, but it is with, like, deep sincerity and reverence, which I think is what makes this film work. We're not trying to skewer anything, but it is such an odd thing to, like, make a sad children's movie. And it's not sad because, like, the dog dies. It's that, like, we cannot go back to the things that we loved.
Yeah, and we're not believed as children. And even at the end, it's not like she is believed.
Yes.
It's just that she gives up on the need to be believed, which is almost a stranger sort of nugget.
Yes.
Because I do wonder, usually with children's entertainment, I mean, you know about this more than I can, so you can speak more eloquently about it. But it seems to me a lot of it revolves around, like, sort of like a simple morality in some ways. Or like very concrete notions of, like, that's why being friends is so important. Or this is why you should always tell the truth instead of lie, or whatever the case may be. And with this movie, because it is so, it felt bleak to me watching it. Even though it's like, you know, there's the triumph of, like, she unfreezes Scarecrow and Tin Man, and, you know, the line's there too, and then there's a big parade, and she says these are the best friends I've ever had. But I am still curious and left wanting at the idea of, like, what was the aim and purpose of the movie? But for a movie that does not hang around, like, a very central thematic.
Exactly. That was my question. Like, what is the theme of this? Because I think, like, there's kind of the reason why it happened is, like, Disney bought the rights to Oz, and, like, it's about to expire. Yeah, exactly. And like, I completely understand wanting to make Oz and wanting to go back, but yeah, like, what is the thematic thesis of this movie?
I don't know, man. I and that's why I cannot see any other sort of intention with it other than we want to go sicko mode effects and we want to scare you, a child. Like, I don't see that much writing on the wall with it. I'm not sure.
Yeah. There was a moment where she is, like, falling into the Gnome King's mountain, and he's like, here's why I'm a villain. And he took all of the emeralds out of the Emerald City, and he says, well, they're mine to begin with. If I remember in the book, it's just sort of like vague bad guy world domination kind of thing that I remember. And Dorothy's falling through and looking at all of these gems, and she keeps going, you have so much. And so I was like, there's something there. If you wanted to dive into that a little bit.
Yeah. Someone was talking about this. Like, every story can be an economic story.
Yeah. Especially because people want to, there's an apocryphal story that, like, well, the original book is about the gold standard, and it's not.
Were the Scarecrow, Tin Man, etc., were they meant to symbolize anything? Was Tin Man, like, the Industrial Revolution?
No.
Or was it Frank L. Baum was like, what if a guy was 10?
L. Frank Baum loved kids, and
Frank
that's okay. Alfred Lyman, he just was like, I love kids and I want to write stories. He, like, really truly, I think, wanted to be an actor and had, like, a failed theater kind of career. But I think you learn the most about him in the introductions to subsequent books. And in the second book, he writes this introduction that's like, I got so many letters from kids who wanted more of Oz, so here's another one that I wrote, and I hope you like it. And then the third one starts, and he's like, I got all these letters about where the heck is Dorothy, because she's not in the second one. So here's a book about that. And, like, I think by the fifth or sixth book, Aunt Em and Uncle Henry come to live in Oz. So it is validated in the end. But that, like, lack of belief, I think, is not really, because we don't want to spend the time in the real world, but in the books it's not really engaged with. I think in the beginning of the third book maybe a little bit, but the third book already, like, they're in, I think, San Francisco because they like won a bunch of money, or maybe they're like visiting a relative. And so the way that she gets into Oz is she's like in an elevator during the famous San Francisco earthquake.
I didn't know Dorothy interacted with famous events in California state history.
I think just that one. And then I think in the fifth book, she's like literally just like she's just on a dirt path like in Kansas and takes a wrong, two roads diverged in a yellow wood. Although I do love at the end, Bellina is like, I'm staying here, man. I'm not going home.
Unless like we're wrong about like, when they were riding and shooting, they're like, yo, Bellina's gonna slay. Like, Bellina's so freaking funny. But I just can't, there's just not even the attempts at, I like the idea of This is distinct from the 39. This is more like, but it's just funny to have almost no trace of what the magic was. Of
Exactly.
thing. I don't like it when people do the Lego sequels where they just redo the beats and it's like, remember that? Like Wicked is so it's so guilty of that key jangling of like, look, it's CGI Dorothy walking down the road. Remember from that movie?
Yeah.
Yes, but
And I think I love that, but I think with any other property, anything that is not Wizard of Oz, I hate it. But because this is, like, I am that audience, right, that is made for. That is my demo.
So how do you feel about the enterprise of Wicked, writ large? Like the book, then the stage musical, then the movie, which are obviously three distinct properties.
I love the books, even though they're deeply flawed, right? But I love that Elphaba because she is very, like, I read that before I read Harriet the Spy, which is for this podcast. But both of those women are prickly and angry, and they get to kind of exist in that way, which is really nice and feels fresh. The problem, I have a lot of issues with the stage musical, and I hated the second Wicked movie. Like, I just hated it. I just loathed it. But
I've not met a soul that's like, you know what rocks? Wicked for good.
Yeah.
That's my shit.
Yeah, I like, with the stage musical, thinking about, like, it's '01, roughly, when they make that. There is I fully understand the impulse to say we've got this popular Wizard of Oz related IP.
They got this what IP?
Popular Wizard of Oz.
Popular?
That is doing really well. We want to make it work on Broadway. I completely understand that. But that text cannot, like, appeal to middle America on their New York City vacation that they spent years and years and years saving up for.
Cut to the only stage musical my family and I all saw together.
Exactly. I saw it in I got to leave school early in third grade to go see this with my family at the Kennedy Center. So I understand the changes. What I hate about the stage musical that, like, was just sort of a problem that the Wicked movie, like, it's a knot they couldn't untie, which is the love triangle. And it's, like, very of 2001, fine. In the books, it's not there at all. Like, Glinda doesn't give a shit about Fiyero. The race politics of the original book and in the movie is very clumsy. You are comparing people of color to animals. Like, pretty straightforward. But he is, like, a connection for a Native American person who has the weight of an entire kingdom resting on his shoulders and, like, is an arranged marriage, has a couple kids already when he comes to college, and is, like, so there's no love triangle, but that's very of, like, 2001. It makes sense. It, like, sells, and we know this. But ultimately, it makes this very interesting girl power movie and piece of art devolve into he's mine, into sissy cat fighting. And that's just something, because in Wicked people want to see As Long As You're Mine, they want those songs. In the movie you just kind of can't, especially because the screenwriter was, I think, the same as who wrote the book for the musical. Like, it's just a knot that you can't untie, even though it is a knot I loathe, and I think completely undercuts the entire message of all of it.
What's interesting, though, is that I don't know if any of the songs would not exist without the triangle. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's foundational. Yeah.
Or no, I'm saying the opposite.
Oh.
I'm saying I don't know if any of the songs you'd be like, you have to cut this if there's no triangle. Because even I'm Not That Girl could just be like Fiero's Lack of Interest. Or As Long As You're Mine. You know, that's their love song. So none of it is informed by, like, also Galinda wants to tap as well. You know, like that Dancing Through Life, what is this fit? None of them, really. Yeah. So I think you could rewrite them.
Yeah, do it. So I think that's my take on it, is, like, it really, and I think the messages from the book and from the 39 movie is, like, make friends wherever you go. You had the power all along. Like, everything that you will need in this life, you already have within you. And the baller message that I don't think L. Frank Baum intended is the people in power are lying to you. Like, question authority. Look behind the curtain.
Was not intentional
from L. Frank Baum?
Yeah. Not like he was Antifa or whatever. But
no, I just don't think that there was that much intentionality in. Like, I doubt he had an outline for it. I think he was really just like, let's have fun. And there is a biography out there that I read, but I think I read it in 2020. And so, of course, I don't remember anything that happened that year. A little tough. I know he was very progressive in terms of feminism. Like, I think his wife or maybe his daughter were like big campaigners and had a big presence in that movement. Oh. But he was like shitty about Native Americans, which you can tell from the books. Like, it's just there. But I think there's something very special in like how the text, you gotta come back and do those. I've been waiting just for anyone to do them, but I would love to have you on. But I think he just wanted to have fun and loved children and wanted to engage with them. Mm-hmm. And so it's this thing of like, there's so much that you can read into it, and why does it persist? And it is like the great American fairy tale, which I think is also very like, yeah, you have it. You need friends to help, but that like the Cowardly Lion is the bravest of them, and that the Tin Man has a lot of heart, and that the Scarecrow is always coming up with brilliant solutions. Like, that you... I think that's the most empowering thing about it, is that you, a little girl from Kansas in this terrifying world, can make incredible change.
Have you seen Gail Daughtry in The Celebrity Sex Pest yet?
Not yet. Thoughts?
Do you know that it is beat for beat The Wizard of Oz?
I didn't, but that does not surprise me. Like, with the very little bit that I know about that movie, it doesn't surprise me, and I'm kind of like, great, fantastic.
I loved that movie.
Yeah? Oh, fantastic.
I laughed so much at that movie. I've been itching to see it again, but it's getting pushed out by a certain group of Greeks right now.
Which I will see tomorrow. Yeah. Because last week was our Odyssey episode. It was a couple days ago. Anne's in it, I'll be there. You know, Robert Pattinson's in it, I'll be there. And we'll just see
Anne
it.
is in it.
Yeah?
Her best work this year, for sure.
Oh, better than Mother Mary? You know how much I love Mother Mary.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I love Mother Mary. But Mother Mary, she's not as dynamic in Mother Mary as she gets to be in this one. Like, she gets pop moments, but then she's just, like, really scared in Mother Mary.
That's true.
My memory of her in Mother Mary is her just, like, shivering wet while, like, being scared of Michaela Cole. Which, who wouldn't be?
Exactly. Like, I do think, like, as much as I love Anne, Michaela Cole is the stronger performance in that. Like,
she's so the star. It feels like a generational, like, baton.
Yes.
Between them in a way where I'm like, I'm surprised that more people weren't talking about her after it, as they were, you know. But I guess a lot of people didn't see that movie.
I don't think a lot of people saw that movie, and they should. It's a fantastic movie.
Go
stream it wherever it is. That's one of maybe my favorite movie of the year. What's your favorite movie of 2026 so far?
Well, before I tell you that, I'm going to tell you that Return to Oz lost to Cocoon for best visual effects.
I have never heard of that movie. Cocoon? Tell me more.
Cocoon is a Ron Howard movie starring famously Wilford Brimley, Steve Guttenberg, and it's about a group of elderly people that get rejuvenated by a bunch of aliens. I'm shocked you haven't heard of this.
No! Steve Guttenberg. Give him a little pizzazz.
If the Goot's there, you know it's going to be a rockin' Goot time. It's my favorite movie of the year. Hoppers, I love.
Oh.
I love the Bone Temple.
Oh. Was that Nia DaCosta?
Yes, 28 years later.
Yeah.
Bone Tempe. Otherwise, honestly, Gail Daughtry is up there.
Yeah?
Drama. I love Drama. The drama.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Even though I don't like the ending of that movie.
No.
And I really like The Invite, but I don't like the ending of that movie.
I have no interest in seeing The Invite, tragically.
Why not?
I think, I don't like Olivia Wilde. I just, like, don't. And that's not anything, like, backstage related. It's just, like, I don't like her performance.
Isn't that interesting? She's like a Rorschach test.
Yes.
I think...
Although I adored Booksmart. I will say that. Adored Booksmart.
Although... I think watching Booksmart now might make you feel 2 billion years old.
No.
Like there's a lot of like we stand RBG stuff in that. Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like there's a
Yeah.
lot of Hillary
That,
Clinton's
yes.
my role model, sort of like, oh, I
Hmm.
this is good, right? You know,
Yeah.
we're gonna think like this forever, certainly. This is a sustainable personal politic.
Yeah, a lot of pantsuits. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of pantsuits in that.
Woof. Well,
And then Minions and Monsters, of course.
you liked it? Good one?
I did like Minions and
Hell
Monsters.
yeah!
I
I've
went
heard
with my
good things.
girlfriend. I've never seen my girlfriend laugh more at anything in her life.
Aw.
One day, I hope I make you laugh like that.
Like Minions and Monsters.
And she's like, "Shut up! I'm listening to Bob and Stu."
That's freaky. I guess I don't want to be like, I guess I'm done talking about Return to Oz, but I'm trying to think like, what else is there to
Well,
say?
it's funny. It's funny to watch these kind of movies now because I'm sure you've talked about like tropes of like the fetch quest.
Mm-hmm.
We need this, so we need to go here to get this guy to get this
Yeah.
guy to do this thing. I'm curious if you have any like historical knowledge of like the etymology origin of that, because obviously things like the sort of like the factory assembly line of Marvel movie stuff is
Yeah.
like that, where it's like we need the Tesseract, but before that we need to go to this planet to talk to this guy.
Yeah.
And there's this arms trader, and certain things can feel like that. It can feel sort of video gamey
Yeah.
in that way. And I'm wondering, with your required reading sort of scruples, if you can kind of give me an overview of like, yeah, where that comes from.
Yeah.
That is just like, this is what the genre is. It's like people
I'm not
just run around trying
sure.
to look for stuff.
I don't know, because I think like I think it's nice to have something very tangible, right? Because I think the ultimately like satisfying changes in movies are emotional changes, but those are like less satisfying to put on the poster almost. We need to go here to get that is very,
Can't
very
see someone
concrete.
reaching for healing.
Exactly.
On the poster, yeah.
But you say that and the fetch quest, I love that phrase. Haven't heard that before. And
Really?
this is not a required reading thing. This is just me being an asshole. Is like, well, the first thing that comes to mind is Jason and the Argonauts from ancient Greek mythology, going and getting this golden fleece. And I love that, not because of the story, but because it introduces Medea, who is my favorite Greek mythology character, with all her mess. I feel like it's always been around, and I think it is like a tangible way to make those quests. I mean, it's the hero's journey, it's all of this stuff, but I think when you have a single physical holy grail item, it's a way to pour so much myth into a single physical object and so much faith and belief that I think it's like an easy channel sort of to make it all work. Yeah.
That makes sense to me. Also, speaking of Greek myth, not enough people are talking about, we're about to have the Odyssey and Hades Town in movie theaters at the same time.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to
That's
see
just, like,
both.
That's
Yeah.
just interesting that is the case.
Yeah. And I have not engaged with Hades Town at all. I think mostly because I'm like, if there's not a pro shot, I don't care.
Right.
Which is a negative aspect. But
Well, this is the thing, Aaron, because I'm starting to finally, like I was telling you before we started, I've gotten into a vortex of this stuff,
musicals.
of musicals. And this life forces you to be a bootlegger. Because the number of pro shots for things are just...
None.
well, yeah, and from what I understand, a lot of them are prohibitively expensive.
Yeah.
So that just becomes a barrier of like, well, maybe you live in a city where you can see a bad version of it, or maybe you have $1 billion and you can go see it on Broadway or in the West End. Otherwise, best of luck to you. I guess
Yeah.
you can listen to it on Spotify and use your imagination.
Exactly.
And that state, like, I've been thinking about this a lot when it comes to like, you probably have some thoughts on it too with like literature stuff, but just like what accessibility means for the arts and
Yes.
how things continue to be sustainable or not, and why things become hyper niche,
Yeah.
where it's like the 2026 box office is projected to end up over $10 billion for the first time since pre-pandemic.
Wow.
It's like pre-COVID, with Moana bombing, with Supergirl bombed, and then like Obsession and Backrooms and the Odyssey and these things where it's like, this is I know the Odyssey's IP,
Yeah, but still, yeah.
And then also it's like, okay, how do we support theaters? The Jellicle Ball is closing, and it's like, well, tickets are like $300.
Yeah.
Like Gen Z isn't gonna go into debt
No.
to take a chance on Nathan Lane doing Death of a Salesman.
Yeah.
Like,
But they will go and spend, $20 to see something in a theater, which
Yes.
is, yeah.
So it's like pick a poison with that stuff. And I feel this way about live music as well. I think everybody's shooting themselves in the foot with that stuff, where it's like you can either go into debt and see Taylor Swift, or and things are going to have such a shorter tail audience wise for the future. Like I have a sincere doubt that there will be like, I don't want to pick on a particular pop artist or band, but like people listening to a band or artist now, where it's like, people will still go see, name a legacy artist now.
Yeah.
40 years on, it's like, because they paid $6 to see them. Which was probably the inflationary equivalent of like $25. And it's like, oh yeah, I saw Olivia Rodrigo for $400 when I was a kid, and now I see her for $2,000. Like, is that going to happen in 30 years? It feels completely unsustainable. And so with reading and things like this, things that are like accessible arts, libraries, books, the inflation price of books, I don't know what the history is of that or not, but it just feels like that is so much more accessible.
Yeah.
And so much important. And then ironically, I don't know if you saw the Atlantic piece called "The End of Reading Is Here."
I have seen the grabby title, and I've been not reading it.
The Rose Horwich piece, which was which freaked the hell out of me. Aaron.
Yeah.
It really scared me because it was incredibly compelling, and it's just about it's some of the basic points you would think. Literacy rates, colleges are assigning fewer books every semester, short form video is just eroding people's attention spans in a profound way, to the point of like, it is funny to see Onion headlines like local man binge watches entire movie in one sitting.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
But I do recommend people read that. She makes a good connection to like Trump is a post-literacy president. So it's just ironic where it's like these things are still accessible. So
but there's effort.
Booming.
Yeah,
required. This should be booming, and it is in some way. Like Barnes and Noble is opening up new stores, and like books are selling better in certain. But it's just not like, one of the stats from that piece was like 57% of Americans said they placed a bet last year. Way more people as a hobby are gambling than are reading in America.
Yeah, I saw that headline and I was like, I'm doing what I can. Like, I can't change the behaviors of anyone else.
You got your corner.
But I'm reading, and I sometimes am getting people who I am encouraging people to read one more book, at least in my guests, than they did before. And that's kind of all I can do. But this is a movie episode.
That said, this is a movie episode.
But I did watch it in one sitting, so.
And I put on the subtitles at one point, so I was reading there.
Yeah. I also had the subtitles on because my air conditioner is so loud, and it needs to be.
Dang. And yet mine is very quiet.
That mini split. But I guess, is there anything else you wanted to say about the movie? I wanted to say that the Gnome King's voice is just phenomenal.
I was particularly taken by the score by David Shire. And David Shire is one of those names I see all the time, and I don't really know his work.
And I think the score is particularly, adds to that devastation and that emotional quality, because those violins are pulling at the heartstrings.
That's what I mean,
yeah.
It's really getting at you. He did the score for Zodiac, which is a movie that is about as bleak as Return to Oz.
It's not that hard to imagine David Fincher directing this movie. It's not a stretch.
For real, man. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I appreciate the opportunity to return to Oz, just to behold it is just gonna keep aging very well.
Yeah.
The things that are just so how did they do that? How did they do that thing with their head? How did they get that the talking deer head to or moose head, to speak in that particular way? Just beautiful stuff.
Yeah.
If I had children, would I show it to them? No, I never would.
I would wait. But I also, like, something that I praise my parents for is that I did grow up watching things I shouldn't have been in terms of age. Like, The Sopranos was on a lot when I was very, very, very small, like pre-language.
Mommy, I want some gabagool too.
Exactly. So I think there is a benefit of, like, kids do want scary. And so I think maybe introducing it through Oz is good. But this is, like... my number one fear in life is institutionalization, and I wonder how much of it came from this, because we know that Dorothy is right. We know that this thing exists, or at least that is what I think. I don't think child audiences go into this being like, what if it was a hallucination?
Yeah.
I hope they don't. And that is so universal, and like every kid's lit, or most of them, is wanting to be believed, and the inability to do that, which I think is one of the more universal.
That just made me feel sad. Yeah, because that's just such a, like, just wanting to be seen like that is just such a base level human desire.
And as like an adult, how do you navigate that? Like, I don't know how Aunt M, like, what the right answer is to navigate your ward, because it is an aunt, she is an orphan. How you deal with that in a supportive way.
Auntie M didn't have the tools.
No.
She didn't know her attachment. Auntie M didn't know her attachment style. She had not listened to the Esther Perel podcast about love and relationships. Can you do a required reading live event that involves perhaps a cavalcade of guests reading to children?
Absolutely. I know one child.
And I would do it at at a library.
Yeah, why not? I gave her
more than one child.
I mean, I know the child's friends.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And then that child invites 2 other children, and that child invites 2 others.
I spent last weekend at a 2-year-old birthday party. Yeah, I did.
Wow.
And for this baby's first birthday, I gave her a copy of The Wizard of Oz. I think this movie is required for me for getting to know who I was, and it's in my canon. But yeah, if you have to pick between the two and you're showing to a kid, do the 39 version. Yeah, this is...
Or do the Sam Raimi 2013 version.
Don't do that.
If you want your kid to not even be scared, but just to hate you.
Don't bring that in. Don't mention that on my podcast.
Zach Braff is a monkey. Even your kid's gonna be like, I'm not buying this monkey.
No. Well, would you consider it required reading? You've answered this. No.
I would consider it required screaming.
Screaming?
Because it's so scary.
Yeah, it is. It 100% is. Put it on for Halloween. Why not? Some great costumes in there. Absolutely.
Yeah. Great gowns, beautiful gowns. Not required reading for me.
And that's okay. Well, is there anything you'd like to plug?
Oh, follow me everywhere, Kevin T. Porter. Listen to Good Christian Fun. Patreon.com/Christian Fun. And I want to plug, Squirrel. They need a little help after that whole jam thing. So let's lift them up today.
Amen. And we'll end it right there. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, Aaron.
Stop recording.